Hello, Booktube. My name is Jessie, and welcome to No Page Unturned. Okay guys, so for the first video on my channel, I am doing I think it's giant book haul. Most of you have like 20 something book hauls, 30 something book hauls, but for me, this is giant. So I think it's like 17, or well, if you count the Harry Potter, this is like 20 something. Anyway, so the first section I'd like to do is the ones I got as gifts. This is a small section because I'm a college student who buys her own stuff. In my gift section, I only have 2 books, like I said. These were given to me by a friend. She was out of town for Christmas, so they ended up being given to me in January, so they count. They count. So I've got Reached and Crossed. These are both in the matched series. I don't know which order they go in. I think it might go like this because this is a bigger book, and I'm assuming the bigger book is the last book. Maybe not. So thank you to my friend for getting these for me. And I have matched up here. But matched does not match. They're by different publishing houses. So I will be rebuying this book. But that's okay because, well, buying one is better than having to rebuy 2. So, thank you. The next category, all the rest of these books, except for the few that I'll mention that are audiobooks, were bought in one trip to Barnes & Noble. So here's the books from that trip, and I kind of am going to put them in order by categories, kind of. So the first category is manga / graphic novels and comics, I think. The first one is Saga. It is a bind-up of comics, I believe, volume 1. My friend, she recommended this for me, and how could I say no? I started last night, and it is so funny already. Beautiful, glossy, sexy. There's sex in here, so I don't recommend it if you are opposed to sexual. And it's a graphic novel, so it's pictures of sex. So if you're not for that, I don't suggest it. The next 2 are manga that I picked up. They are sequels to ones I've already started. So the first is, that was a fail. The first is Ajin. That's how I've been pronouncing it, at least when I read it. It is a horror. It's about, kind of makes you think about life and how do we value human lives, and basically they're monsters and they get treated and tested, and it makes you think, well, they're still kind of human. Anyways, I think like that, but INTP. So yes, this is the second one in the series, and I'm really excited to continue. The third and last in my manga, graphic novel, anime section is number 3 in the, if you know how to say this, don't get mad, the Sankaria series. Again, that's how I've been pronouncing it in my head. That's not what really matters. What matters is that it's about a boy who, in the first one, he's messing around with this potion that is supposed to reanimate his cat who died. But the hot girl, only daughter, innocent of the richest man in town, owner of the only girls' school, I think, in town, she stumbles upon him and she helps him, and then she tries to commit suicide by drinking it, but it failed until her father pushes her off a cliff, basically. She dies and comes back to life as a zombie girl, and he's obsessed with zombie girls. That is his fantasy since a child, I guess. Weird fantasy. To each their own. So yes, this is the third one, and I'm excited to continue it. It's funny, and it's got a horror vibe to it, but it's not really too scary except for gore. So next, I'm going to put a little cut in the Barnes & Noble trip to tell you about the fact that I bought Red Rising. That's going to be a picture right there. Red Rising, it is the first in a trilogy that everyone always says it's kind of a mix of Hunger Games and Ender's Games and all that thrown together. So I decided to listen to it because I wanted to listen to something while I was working, and also just because everyone's been talking about it, but I'm not great with fantasy sci-fi, even though I am, but really dense fantasy sci-fi. So I picked it up in audio format, and I'm so glad I did. The voice is awesome. The acting was awesome to whoever did it. I applaud you. And so it turned a book that I think could have been really heavy at times into this epic adventure, fantasy adventure, and sci-fi and dystopian all mixed together. And I loved it. And it's probably one of my favorite books of all time now. So I stopped to tell you about that one because my first book from Barnes & Noble in Des Moines was The Golden Sun. It's the sequel to Red Rising. It is about him. He's 20 now. I read the first couple pages. He's 20 now. He's in the academy doing simulations of fighting, and it's going to be awesome. And I hope I can read this after listening to the audiobook. I hope I don't have a problem switching. If so, I'll just get the audiobook with get my next credit in Audible. So, because I'm not paying like $30 for audiobook. Anyways, so this is going to be awesome, and I'm totally excited. And Pierce Brown, if you're out there, you did a good job. Also, I've been seeing a lot on YouTube about how everybody thinks Pierce Brown is like the hottest YA author, and he is pretty good looking. Just put it that. The next book I tried to stick kind of in the sci-fi to show you is the first book in the Never Sky series, which is Under the Never Sky by Veronica Rossi. I didn't even have to look at it barely. I got it. It is kind of a sci-fi. I don't know too much about it other than it's sci-fi, dystopian, girl, bad guy trying to get together. That's kind of going to be a theme if you keep watching this video, I think. So, but I'm excited for this. I watched it tells you basically the description is to go watch the book trailer. So I did that, and I still don't think I know very much about what it's going to be about, but I'm excited nonetheless. So yes, kind of transitioning from sci-fi, kind of still sci-fi, to Powers. I have Half Bad. It is one that I've seen a lot about on YouTube. I think I've seen some mixed reviews, but I'm excited. It's about powers, and you'll see why when I show you some of my other haul items. Why? Because I love power books right now and X-Men-esque things. So yes, I'm excited about this, and cover is so pretty. It's wispy, but still like somehow creepy at the same time. And it's silver and shiny. And the next book I think is again kind of sci-fi, transitioning into maybe the more fantasy section. It is Daughters of Smoke and Bone by Lonnie Taylor. It is an urban fantasy. I read the first couple pages. I'm a little worried that I won't be able to get into it. Something about the setting is kind of throwing me off. Maybe it's the urbanness of it, but I'm going to keep trying and keep persevering because this is Caddy Tastic's favorite book, and I have to read it then. I just have to. So yes. Next in my epic trip to Barnes & Noble is a high fantasy, which I'm surprisingly excited for because I'm not usually high fantasy, but after seeing all the castles and the fighting and the knights and the epic battles of Red Rising, I decided to pick this up. I was hesitant before I read Red Rising, but now I'm pretty freaking excited. It is The Demon King. It is the first in a series that's really popular on YouTube, Booktube, and a Seven Realms novel. It is by Cinda Williams Chima. I think I pronounced that right this time, hopefully. I think this kind of is one of those ones that goes between points of view, I think, and I love that, and you'll see why when I show you like one of my favorite series of all times. Anyways, so I'm pretty excited about this one. High fantasy, romance, I think, a little bit. So stay tuned for me reading this because I'm excited. Next, I have another high fantasy first in a series book, and this one everybody knows. I don't even know if I need to tell you much more about it, but it is Throne of Glass. It is the first book in Sarah J. Maas's series about assassins, I think, in a fight to the death, maybe? I don't know. She gets kind of drafted by the king's son, I think, and if she doesn't, then she gets to stay in some imprisonment camp, so that's not good. Don't stay in. If someone comes to you and wants you to fight for them, you're gonna say yes, because otherwise you're basically in a prison for the rest of your life. So I'm really excited about this one. I love this cover art. It's so badass and shiny, and I think it used to have kind of a white background and now it's darker, which I'm really excited about because I love dark things, which I'm wearing pink, so you probably can't tell, but I love black. So that was not supposed to sound so gothic. Lastly, in my trip to Barnes & Noble in Des Moines this last weekend, I have The Iron King by Julie K, because I'm not going to even try to pronounce her last name because I'm going to butcher it. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Kagawa. It's another high fantasy, I think, kind of. Her brother gets kidnapped on her 16th birthday by fairies. So yes, high fantasy, in my book at least. So I'm pretty excited about this one. Probably one of the ones I'm less excited about, but still very excited because it's a book and it's not the prettiest cover, but the back is beautiful. So yes. So that was the last of my trip last weekend to Barnes & Noble. And now I will show you a few things I bought here and there. The beautiful collector's edition of Harry Potter next to my copy of Shatter Me. There's the box you can't see behind all the books I'm hauling, but I put it there as a placeholder until I absolutely need more space on my bookshelf. And if you look behind all of these books, you will see this really jankety Harry Potter toy I found at the Salvation Army for $1. So I'm pretty excited about it, even though I'm pretty sure there was supposed to be something that is missing in it, but it was $1. And pretty sure it was made when I was like 7. So that's exciting. Also, here's some of my other books if you want to see. There's a lot of empty space because of all these books I'm hauling. There's some manga up there. That is not 50 Shades of Grey. And yeah. Hello Kitty and Anastasia. And to finish off this video, I'm going to show you just one more set of books that I got off of Amazon just last week, I believe, maybe a week and a half ago. And it is the rest of the Shatter Me series. It is Unravel Me, it is Unravel Me Book 2, Ignite Me Book 3, and then Unite Me, which is a bind-up of novellas, if I am not mistaken. And if anybody knows me, they know that I have a weird obsession with eyes. So of course, this was going to be one of the first choices. Shatter Me is now one of my favorite books of all time. I pretty much finished the book, sat it down, and went, this book about 17 times before I could say anything else to anybody. So I'm very excited to read these. It got kind of an X-Men feel at the end of the first one, so I'm so excited. And I just haven't read it yet because, I don't know, I have so many other books to read, and Red Rising, so yes. But that will be soon. Last but not least, today at lunch I bought a book on Audible. I bought the first in the Nick Chronicles series thing, Infinity. I'm in love with it so far. And I'm obsessed with Southern accents right now, Creole accents, and male narrators. So if anybody knows any more like that, please comment below and suggest them to me. So if you like this video, please subscribe below, somewhere down here. If not, I'm sorry, not really. So thanks for tuning in to No Page Unturned. This stack of books will probably be unturned for a while, but never fret. I will get to them. And the real problem is going to be the books I buy after this, because we all know I'm going to keep buying books. There's going to be tons of new videos coming soon. I hope to do a TBR, maybe some hashtag challenges that I've seen other booktubers doing lately. And yeah, I hope you stay tuned, and I can't wait to see how this channel goes. This is a total experiment for me. I'm introverted and read books a lot, so, and play video games. There might be videos about video games. Do not be surprised. So yeah. Bye guys.